Greetings, greetings, greetings. TGIF, everyone. What is happening? What's going on with you? Come on in. Come right on in. Have a seat. Enjoy yourself. How is it going for you guys? You doing all right? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well myself. Nothing spectacular really going on in Chicago. However, there's a few events we have. We have the Chicago Auto Show. That is a big event that happens in Chicago. And the mayor wants to make sure that everyone is safe because they got to be careful. These people have they come in from all places, the suburbs and stuff, to come on in. They want to park their car and then have to walk down a little bit. They're not trying to have any problems. So the mayor is going to make sure everyone is safe, have extra police out there watching, because you can't scare the dominant society. They need them dollars. They need them dollars. A lot of stuff been going on when it comes down to the carjackings and stuff. And just think, somebody parked their car, walk away, and they're like, nice opportunity. Because people, they will park their car, a mile or two. They really would. About a mile or two. They will park that far away just so they can get in. They'll walk, they have no problems, and then they'll go ahead and go. But the thing is, car might not be there when they come back. That's a problem. That can be a problem for people. Hey, Zero, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome, Celine. Chaos Rain, never seen a link he did not like. Just DeAndre, welcome on in. Lady V, Vonda H, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also we have a couple of birthdays. It's been a while since Ron Wills had been on the show, but we'll get him in maybe for the spring. Have a nice conversation. We'll see what happened. See what's going on with him. I've been peeping to see if I've seen any new books or anything, but I have not seen any. And then Elder DJ Music, his birthday is coming up as well. And one Z, we kind of celebrating him tonight. One G's kind of celebrating him tonight. I already told him that I will be having a toast for him. Got my bottle ready, which actually I opened it yesterday with dinner, so got a glass left, so I will be using that, and that'll be for the toasting. Also, have you guys noticed that there are immunization portals? I was researching something and I saw it just came up in what was I looking for? If I recall, I don't recall, but it was in a strange place. So that's what made me realize. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this doing? So it made me think about it. I'm like, okay, if they got portals, then that means you can share the information when needed. And more than likely, everyone, and we've talked about this before, everyone is going to have to have that information. So it'll be a quick look up, and that's what people will be doing in the future. But I don't recall where I've seen it at, but I'm sure you might have seen it somewhere. You might have been looking for H&R Block or something, and you saw off on the side, they actually have an immunization portal. You're like, what is that doing there? But it's there. And let's see, last but not least, the Gold Professor, I was over on his show this morning, and he stated he didn't feel the love or anything. So I had something special for him. I said, I'm giving you an invite, a special invite. You need to show up. Now, his time is earlier than mine, so I can understand if he's napping or doing something else. He can be busy. These things happen. But if you show up, just to let you know, I'm going to interrupt the show because he wants to feel special. I don't know what's going on, what I did wrong to not make him special, but I appreciate everyone. I always do. That's why I decided, just have a little background music, speak to the people as they come in, and yeah, that's a little bit different, a little bit more personable, is a little bit special. I think that's cool. Yeah. So tonight is, you'll see these conversations all around about they won't let you see the child and all that, and it's so unfortunate that it happens, and it probably will never stop. Has always been and will always be, no matter how you do what you do. Because why? People are people. And as females, women, we're emotional creatures and we feel some kind of way. And, it's unfortunate. That's what I say. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I really hate that for people. And so we're going to be discussing that. We'll have a clip, paternity court, and you get a chance to hear. Now, what I want to stress is I want you guys to listen. A lot of times we don't listen. I want you to listen. That's what we're going to be doing. Listening to hear what a person says. Sometimes what they say is not always what they mean. And going forward, that is going to be a lot of the shows that we do. We are going to analyze what people are saying, or actually what they mean. Because you say a lot of things, but what is it that you mean? You see the same shows over and over again, the real reason, the ultimate reason, all kind of reasons, but it's all the same. It's just repeat over and over and over again. But what are you really saying? So, we're going to break it down. That's what we're going to do. So, without further ado, happy birthday to all those. The birthday is coming up. And let me cut the music and bring our lovely, our wonderful, our classy, classic Ruby, everybody. How are you?
Girl, you know what? I gotta say, I'm clearly on struggle mode because, again, I was like, how do you unmute? How do you unmute?
Uh-oh.
Why does that happen? I don't know what it is. But when I go onto desktop mode on my phone, it looks very different. And I'm like, I cannot figure out where the mute button is.
Oh
I'm
my
scrambling
goodness.
around. I was ready. I'm like, okay, she's calling me. I'm going to be prepared in advance. Oh my God, where's the mute button? Oh my God, what a whole thing. What a whole thing. TGIF. Okay, sure. That's all I got to say. I just got to say TGIF because clearly I'm a struggle. A struggle. Not in struggle, a struggle. I was going to call myself a struggle. I'm in struggle mode. But
Okay.
hey, listen,
Right.
you know what? All I got to say is this, though. I don't know about all of y'all. Okay. But this week, mostly yesterday, I spent 200, I'm not even kidding, $250. And it actually would have been a little bit over $400, but when you add the discount on top of discount on top of discount, it's less than that at Licenza. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what Licenza is, Licenza.
Uh-oh. I think we lost her. Rube to Earth. Classic Ruby to Earth. Come in. Uh-oh. I think we lost her. Where's Ruby? Who snatched her? Bring her back. We want Ruby. Or is it me? Now I see my thing blinking. Nothing from her end. So Ruby, we do not hear you. Let me type in here. Cannot hear you.
You know
Uh,
what? Thank
Okay,
God
now I
Mr.
can hear
Ruby.
you.
Thank God Mr. Ruby was listening. He's like, wait, no, we can't hear you, baby. Like, what? No, we can't hear you. But I'm telling a great story and I'm so funny right now. But so I don't know how much. What did y'all hear? What do you hear me say?
Absolutely nothing except for you spent 200. You're not kidding. And you named a store and it ended right there.
Perfect. Total waste of my life. Okay, so I, Licenza. Now, Licenza is our Victoria's Secrets. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, girl. Hey, Valentine's Day is only a hop, skip, a jump away from today, right? So I realized I'm like during the plan, the worldwide thing going on. I don't want to get you struck down.
Yeah.
Um, I went into the store like maybe a couple years ago, like at the start of it, and because their sales were off, because their prices are astronomical, but they've always had these great sales, like panties 5 for 25, for example, right? Or 3 for 18, or two bras for $60. And then you could get a club card that gave you an extra 10% off your order and stuff. But all of those shut down. And I told them, I said, mark my words, it's coming back. You know why? Because y'all prices are ridiculous and we won't pay them. I know. Cause I didn't even I've been checking for a sale. All this time I've been checking for a sale. No sale. All of a sudden, boom, they are plastered with sales in 2022. Okay. And the best part, I got a ruby red bra. I swear to God, I did. Oh,
Oh,
so pretty.
wow.
I've been wanting one my whole life, Char. My whole life. I'm so excited. So I'm just saying, y'all, if you haven't done it yet, if you're in Canada, listen, the sale kind of is a little different now, but you still got time to catch it. I'm sure Victoria's Secret's got sales and stuff. And even if you're single, treat yourself. Do you know how good I feel right now? Knowing that all this pretty lace and frilly and new designs and even like the boy shorts and it's coming your way and you're gonna put it on and feel all good under your clothes. I'm just saying, ladies. I'm just saying. Even if you treat your man, treat yourself, but it's worth it. I feel great. I gotta say, I feel great. That just fixed my whole entire life. I don't know why. Isn't that weird? What
Wow.
why
Okay.
why does buying a pretty bra and some cute panties make me feel like life is gonna be all right? Like, why is that? That's a weird thing, right? I don't I don't know what it is, but it does. I swear. I don't know.
Don't feel bad. I celebrated too when I've done the same thing because I don't do that, and I just decided to one time, and I found it to be a waste because it was off more
Mhm.
than it was on. So stop wasting my money, and that was the end of that. But I did feel good
True
buying it.
facts. Right. That's girl. I'm not even gonna lie. Right until like my wedding shower, where everyone gets a kick. I think it's really creepy. It's like low key, like incestuous that all your friends and family, especially, buy you all these really scandalous things to please your husband sexually. And you're like, do y'all realize how messed up that is? Like, why are you? This is not an okay tradition at all. But until that moment, I had really maybe bought like two, three pieces in my whole entire life for the same reason. I'm like, do you want to see me in it or you want to see it on the ground? You probably want to see it on the ground. Well, that was $80. So if I paid $80 for it, it's staying on my body the whole time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I
Right? I'm
understand.
just saying. Right? I'm just saying. So, I don't do it often. I like what I bought was mostly day to day stuff, right? Like I didn't buy anything crazy. It's just like, just normal every day to day kind of thing. But there's a couple of cute looking things in there though. I know they're gonna make a nice outfit,
Yeah.
catch a glimpse of me, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, damn, that's why I married her." Yeah, that's why. That's right. Sometimes you gotta remind them. That's all I'm saying. You just gotta remind them sometimes,
Right. Let them know what it is.
right? Let them know what's what.
Okay. All right. So let's see. I already did the intro to what's about to happen. So let me go ahead and share the screen and we can get started. And make sure you have your listening ears on, good people.
Oh, we danced already? Huh?
Say that again.
We danced already?
No, I was going to do the dance every other week.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
we can kind of rotate because I think I have 5 clips and just kind of rotate them so you don't see the same ones. You're like, oh, I remember that, and it'll be more
Oh,
enjoyable.
girl, I got a gift for you. Listen, I'm about to have a gift for you. I don't have it yet, but now that I
Oh,
know this new information, Ruby's about to work some magic. Don't worry, I got you.
all right, all right.
Hmm.
Help us bust out. Okay,
Hmm.
thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
All right, so here we go. Let me make sure the audio is up. Boop. All right, here goes.
Miller, you're here to prove to your ex-boyfriend Scotty Rasmussen that he is not the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Zaylee Rasmussen.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you've been in an ongoing court battle over custody and have petitioned the court several times for a DNA test, all of which have been denied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rasmussen, you claim the real reason Ms. Miller is denying your Zaylee's father is because she hates you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you've been there for your daughter her entire life, and you're here today to prove you are Zaylee's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rasmussen, why is Ms. Miller saying you're not Zaylee's father?
Your Honor, I believe it's just out of pure hatred. She just doesn't want me to have visitation. I drive 160 miles every other weekend just to pick up my daughter and drop her off. That's about 10,000 miles. That's wear and tear on my car. She doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't have any way to bring her to me. She doesn't have any way to meet me halfway.
You say she hates you. Why does she hate you?
She hates me because at the end of the relationship, when things got rocky, I'll admit it, I did go to another woman. I'll be the first to admit that. It was my mistake.
Is that true, Ms. Miller?
No.
It's not.
No.
Tell
It's
me
not
what
at all.
you believe to be true in this situation.
Yes, I was very mad at him for being a cheater. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship. No, I do not hate him because of that. I lost my respect for him, yes.
He says this is about visitation, too. He loves his daughter, but you don't want him to have the visitation. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is that?
Because I believe that the only reason why he wants the visitation is to claim her on his taxes.
That is the furthest thing from the truth.
All right. Not sure what visitation would have to do with the claiming of taxes. Because it is visitation, it's not a permanent home or anything. That's something that they can decide, my understanding. But that is an interesting reason that she has.
Welcome to her echo
Excuse.
chamber.
I'll use the word excuse. I wanted to say reason, but I'll just say excuse.
This is the back ass words, as they like to say, reasoning that you hear in only echo chambers, right? So she's been in some echo chambers. Her friends are all probably single or equally dysfunctional. And they told her, you want to be spiteful, this is how you do it. This is the reasoning you give, blah, blah, blah. And don't worry, girl, he probably, that's what I did, because they didn't change the taxes. Right? Like, that's what happens. And so they buy into it, and it allows them to justify their bad, spiteful behavior, right? By saying things that clearly aren't true. Like, clearly aren't true. I mean, even if it were to change, your taxes or your output of child support or whatever it is, it's not such a large change that someone would go out of their way to do it, right? Like, from what he's saying, it's not like it's like, oh well, she lives 35 seconds away from me, so it's right there. Sometimes she drops the kids off and I guess I visit them. Like, no, he has to go out of his way. Howdy, no, so you don't do that for any reason other than you miss your kids and you want to see them, you evil harpy, like, like,
Right. This is pretty sad. We're starting off, it ain't looking good. And then also as far as the echo chamber, as far as race is concerned, you hear a lot of that, the submissiveness. And so far, there's nothing submissive about this woman. So not sure where all those facts that we hear in the street are true.
At all. Wait, you know what? You know what? Funny story. I have to mention it. I was just speaking to an ex of mine, right? And many of my exes went on to this tip, and they said, "Listen, after you, I'm not dating a black girl. I'm gonna date a white girls." And I'm like, "Well, why?" And it had nothing to do with submission, mind you, right? It actually had more to do with the evil within them, right? The other ones, right? Our evil's very overt. If we're mad at you, we gonna let you know. If we're gonna cut you, we're gonna show you the knife before we do it, right? And for them, no, seriously, for this guy, like his whole thing is, well, no, she's gonna act soft and she's gonna act. I said it. She's gonna act soft and nice and hide the anger and hide the knife until the last moment, right before it's being shoved inside of me, right? And I'm like, why is that a good thing? He's like, honestly, I just don't want the noise. So that's what it is, right? This has nothing to do with them honestly believe. Well, some of them believe the lie, but that's because none of them have. The ones who believe it have never dated probably anyone, right? But the rest of them, they're saying this, oh, they're more submissive, and but you know it's not what it is. They're just quieter with it, right? And as men can just turn their brains off and just ignore you until the last possible second when you start being evil. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's what it is. That's the only difference. We're very overt. They're a lot more covert. That's the big difference between us. Otherwise, most of the most evil, reprehensible things I've ever heard in these, baby mama, baby father type things, the most reprehensible of the stories, I'm not even kidding, were white women. They got a mean streak a mile long, and they never forget, ever. And it's scary. Oh yeah. I'm telling you. We'll get into more of it later, but I'm telling you.
Okay. All right, let's play some more.
Mm-hmm.
I want my visitation because my daughter means the world to me. I want to be in her life as much as I possibly can.
I mean, if he's driving 160 miles each way every other weekend, the money he would get in his taxes, he's spending in gas.
I'm paying my child support. I have my child support payments right here, plus an additional $3 fee, plus an additional $60 annual fee just to pay my child support.
So you pay $50 a week.
Just under $50 a week. Plus that $3 with every check, plus another $60 every year to the state.
And that's not very much to get what she needs.
Is it enough to buy her clothes so she doesn't have to wear cut-off sweatpants and the same T-shirt every time I pick her up?
I do that because I don't want.
Is it enough money to buy?
Because she's spiteful.
What was that answer? I do that because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
She has no excuse, or no, she has no reason. She just have excuses.
No, she has her reason. She just knows her reason makes her look like a piece of trash. So she doesn't want to say her reason. I'll tell you what her reason is. I've heard this. Listen, anyone who's watched, Maury or any of these shows like that, we know what this answer is. This answer is this. I worked hard and I bought my baby them clothes, and I'm gonna put them on her, and then you don't return the clothes. So I'm gonna send her the same ragtag old thing, and then if you want her to look good when she's with you, you're gonna have to put her in other clothes. I'm only gonna put her in clothes I'm willing to have destroyed or lost, because I know if I put her in the nice stuff, you're gonna steal it. That's what it is. Seriously, I've heard this
is
before.
Crazy. Now, as far as the amount of money for support, it goes by your income. So if that's his income and whatever the percentage is, and if it's $50 or a little bit under $50, as he says, a week, that's it. What can a man do? What can he do? That's what he has for right now. And then, she says it's not much. Okay. So would you rather have nothing?
I guess so.
Okay, zero. Okay, gotcha.
She can arrange that though. All she has to do is give him his kid, and there you go. She can get zero. It'll work out great. No, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you hear some of these arguments, you're just like, what do you want him to do? If you wanted ridiculously large amounts of child support, then you should have spread your legs for someone who was a lot richer. I'm just saying. because you chose to sleep with this guy. I'm sure you didn't think he was rich then. You
Right.
chose
They're
to,
young in their early 20s.
right. Then, you chose to sleep with him unprotected. You chose to keep the baby. These are all choices you made. He wasn't rich then. He has no obligation to become rich so he can give you wild amounts of child support. That doesn't make any sense, right? Like he's gonna.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know who raised her. I don't know. And like I said, it just throws that narrative about the submissiveness and all of that just straight out the window. But okay. Um, I'll listen to a little more.
Buy her underwear so you don't got to keep putting her in diapers at 4
I
years
have
old.
underwear for her. And she is not in diapers. She is in pull-ups. She is in training right now. She is having problems.
She is.
But what
not
he's
happy.
saying, Miss Miller, is it's clearly not about money if he's paying his child support. And he also spends money coming to see her. What is this really about for you? Why is it you don't want him involved in this child's life?
Because I still believe that he's not hers.
Okay, and listen, that's what we're here for. I want to get down to the bottom of the truth.
Yeah.
You don't believe he's her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So explain to me why.
When she was conceived in March of 2011. He wasn't even in the same state. He was in Vegas. And at that time in March, I wasn't even with him. I was with somebody else because he broke up with me because he cheated on me.
I'll be the first to admit it was a mistake.
Okay, we've gotten the fact that you two have an on and off relationship that has infidelity woven through. I understand that. Ms. Miller, you were stating to the court that you were intimate with someone else and you believe that you were intimate with that other person during the time Zaylee was conceived and Mr. Rasmussen was all the way in Las Vegas.
Yes, Your Honor.
But clearly at some point, Mr. Rasmussen either thought or was informed that he was her biological father because he is paying child support. He's still driving 160 miles each way. And she has his last name.
Yes.
Mr. Rasmussen, fill me in. At what point were you ever told that you were not her biological father?
I believed I was, and still believe I was the only biological father until about 5 or 6 months or so, give or take, after she was born. We were at family court, talking to the family court commissioner about custody and the things that go along with that, like where she'd be going to school, her doctor, and all that. And Ms. Miller brings it up that I could possibly not be the father because of another man that was involved. And she gave some date. I can't remember the specifics. One of the people we were talking to with the family court commissioner did the math, and it turns out that would be a 10-month pregnancy, and that don't make sense to me.
Because it was so long ago, I was confused about the dates, but now that I went through both of our Facebooks, I went through all of my notes, all of anything that I wrote down, and I figured out that she was conceived in March and it was a 9-month pregnancy.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, up until Zaylee was 5 or 6 months old, you believed you were the only possible biological father.
That is correct. We never broke up. There was never any that I can recall. There was never any split there. There was a relationship was on and off in a sense, but we never.
But by that time she was born, so she already had your name.
She already had my name.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
That is correct.
Your name's on the birth certificate.
I have that
Jerome,
right.
will you hand me that, please?
I have that right here. My name is on that birth certificate.
To be clear, we have never been accused of being flashy, sexy, or lit. May I?
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe.
I swore I edited that out.
Doctor's appointment. When
I was
Zaylee was
surprised to let
born,
you
you were at a doctor's
keep it.
appointment. I was at home because I had to work that day. I was at my job as a cashier. I got a phone call and I answered it. They said she was going into labor. I said, okay. I hung up the phone. I quickly finished up as fast as I could with that particular customer. I turned off my checkout light, told the next customer in line that something came up. I either had to go to another line. I went up to my manager, my immediate supervisor, said, hey, I got to go. My girlfriend's in labor. I went home, quickly changed my clothes, and I drove about 45 miles through a winded, wooded road in Wisconsin in December, mind you. So it's about a foot of snow on the ground. I made it to that hospital in less than 35 minutes. I beat her to the hospital. And I was there from the moment she got there to the moment she was discharged. I called my boss at work and said, hey, I got to take some days off. I don't care if you fire me or whatever, but I got to stay here. My daughter's being born.
That's a lie. After she was born.
That was an amazing story. You say that was a lie?
Yes, it is.
How do you remember it?
After she was born, he was gone. He ran out of the room. I didn't see him for 20 minutes after that. While I was in labor, he was sitting on one of those hospital cot beds on his computer in the corner, not paying attention to me, in his own little bubble.
I admit I was on my computer, but that was far from it. I had to find a way to calm myself because I was so excited. I was so excited to be a father. How often does a man beat the woman to the hospital?
Do you dispute, Ms. Miller, that he was excited about this beautiful little girl being born?
I really didn't see much excitement.
You didn't?
No.
Did he beat you to the hospital?
Yes, because I had to wait for my aunt to come get
Then
me.
where's the lie,
What's the
bitch?
problem
Where's
exactly?
the lie?
You let him sign the birth certificate.
I gave my daughter my last name.
Lord have mercy. There we go. More ignorance. More ignorance.
This girl, like, what bothers me, right, is when people go, that's a lie. Okay, well, how is it a lie? And then they just address something else. No,
Right.
This, right? What? But did he beat you to the hospital? Yes. So then where's the lie? What was the lie? So, no, you just know that you can't slam him if you just allow his stories to stand as is. And it seems like he's just being honest and he's only talking about himself. Whereas in all her stories are not talking about herself. She's talking about him to slam him and put him down. Right? It's like she's just an icky person. You know, she's just an icky, ungrateful, selfish person. That's just what it is. Nothing is gonna ever be good enough for her. You can tell. Like, it don't matter if he made $100,000 a year, well, why aren't you making 500,000? Right? If you treated her like a queen, well, why aren't you treating me like an empress? Like, she's just one of those people. Nothing is good enough for her. I can tell. Like, and the thing is, the worst part about that is she's making me agree with these streets when they talk about how some people are a little delusional because she's not that hot. You know, like she's super hot, so she could have super high standards, or she's super rich, or she's super something that you could be like, okay, well, I understand why your standards are so high. I don't understand why her standards are so high. I don't understand why she thinks she's so much better than this dude. She can't even give him the tiniest bit of credit, not even the tiniest bit. When some people's kids spend every week staring out the window, hoping maybe this will be the week daddy shows up when he says he's gonna, right? And she's blessed with a father for her kid that will drive 160 miles round trip, right? So it's like over 3 hours round trip just to see his kid.
Yeah, and even if it's around the corner. And then the timeline, I had to look on Facebook and do the timeline. So you sleeping with men or a man, whichever one it is, you don't keep up with that. You don't know. You had to figure it out.
Of course.
What's going on? And then because he cheated, you did too. I mean, you know what? I have a solution. Okay, since he slept with somebody, you know what? I'm going to sleep with someone else too. Yep, that is the solution. That is going to solve the problem. Yes. Who thinks like that? A lot of people do, but what the world? That's what this lady is, a mess, a hot mess.
Oh yeah, she is, and I don't believe her. I actually believe he came here to just tell us the truth. And so when he said, "No, I cheated on her towards the end of our relationship," I actually believe that. I don't think he did cheat notoriously throughout the whole relationship. I don't know why. I don't believe that. I think she's lying about it because I think after the fact he found out that she's been a notorious whore the whole relationship, right? And she needs to justify her behavior. Well, I bet you all men cheat anyway, right? You know, I've seen videos And I'm telling you, it's not from our women. I've seen videos, many that are saying, well, you know what? How do you deal with cheaters? Ladies, just cheat first. That way, right? If he cheats on you, then you won't feel bad because it's just like, he's kind of getting you back, even though he doesn't know that you cheated, right? And if he doesn't cheat on you, well, he'll never know. Like that's a justification. So I'm just saying, from their society culture perspective, they think that cheating is perfectly acceptable. They do. Like that's what women do when they're hurt, when they're mad, when they're angry, when they're this, when they're that, right? They go and they cheat so that way they can feel spiteful. I've even heard some grimy things. I will not repeat them on here, that has to do with, let's say, that you just freshly kissed the other man, and now your man comes home and you're gonna freshly kiss him too. On his lips, on his face. Put it that way. Like that, these things happen, and it's a whole set of thought and behavior. And I can tell that woman, this person, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to call her a woman because I just feel like it's just really degrading to women. But no, she's that kind of person. She's that kind of person who follows those types of TikTokers and those types of YouTubers who tell her that that's how she's supposed to live life. That's the key to success, to be an empowered woman in this, hoe culture.
Wow.
Ugh. Right? It's like, I'm almost never this impartial, but I just don't like her. So I'm just on his side. I really am. I'm on his side. I really believe that everything she says is a lie and everything he says is the truth. Yep. That's right, ladies. Skewer me. Fine. It's good.
I'm with you on that. She's terrible. She is very terrible as a mother because it takes two. And if she says she didn't want him to see him or her, and that's her excuse, a lame excuse, because it could be someone else, the father, well, what the hell is this someone else?
Right.
But, this is ridiculous. Let's continue. I'm angry.
Because we were engaged. And I thought we were going to get married.
Oh,
I thought we were. I had to wait for
Let me go
my
back to
aunt.
that.
I admit I was on my computer, but that was far from it. I had to find a way to calm myself because I was so excited. I was so excited to be a father. How often does a man beat the woman to the hospital?
Do you dispute, Ms. Miller, that he was excited about this beautiful little girl being born?
I really didn't see much excitement.
You didn't?
No.
Did he beat you to the hospital?
Yes, because I had to wait for my aunt to come get me.
What was the problem exactly? You let him sign the birth certificate.
I gave my daughter my last name.
Because we were engaged. And I thought we were going to get married.
We were engaged. So while you were riding Facebook penis, you were engaged. And you thought you were going to get married.
Right. Which,
yeah.
This sounds very spiteful and petty to me. I mean, obviously she's a hoe. Obviously she cheated on him. No, seriously, obviously, right? And obviously she did cheat on him through this relationship. I think that this is what happened. See how she said we were engaged, we were supposed to get married, da da da. Okay, so she just told us her reason. That's her reason why she's doing all of this. She knows that he doesn't love her anymore. She knows that this was her best shot at getting married, at actually being able to walk down the aisle and have the family and blah blah blah. And we don't know why, but for whatever reason, relationship broke up. She's disappointed now, and so now she wants to hurt him the way that he's hurt her, and she can't use herself, right? Because he's probably the one who walked away from her. So the only way she can hurt, you could do child support and stuff, but he doesn't mind paying child support. He doesn't mind jumping through hoops to see his kids. He doesn't care. Those are his kids. He loves his kids. So what do you do instead? Just take the kid away, right? No, they're not yours. I was fucking someone else. I knew. Yeah. Yeah, I knew the whole time. Yep, that's right. 10 feet deep, baby. He was in me all the time. This is not your kid. I think she's lying. I think she knows she's lying. She's hoping to God that maybe she's not lying, but she knows she's lying. She just wants to hurt him. That's it.
That's jacked up because you
Hmm.
know this man cares.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right? You'd think his daughter
I
would
thought we
be
were gonna.
important, right?
Okay.
Like you would think, oh my God, my daughter having a loving father who's gonna dote on her and jump through hoops and move mountains just to show her that he cares. Wow, you know what? I did one good thing. I did one good thing in making this little girl with this man because my daughter deserved that. No, she would rather her daughter be fatherless, right?
Exactly.
Entirely. She
Hmm.
rather that. All to spite this man. It's terrible.
And that's probably been her lot in life. She
Hmm.
have issues because she didn't have, and but that's unfortunate that you hurt people because you're hurt.
Hmm.
It's a which is your daughter in this case.
Yep.
All right. Ugh,
Mm.
this makes me
Wow.
angry.
Gonna have a
Hmm.
happy life and raise our daughter together until about 3 months after she was born. One of his friends told me everything that he was doing throughout our entire relationship, cheating on me, going to multiple places to meet multiple girls. And after that, I was just done.
I'm sorry, I had to just stop it because I just have to just got to say what I heard because someone else told you 3 months after the baby's born, wah, wah, what he did. You accepted that information as true, and you
Hmm.
accepted it and said, you know what? I'm done with this relationship. So what, day one after the baby's born, two, three, four, five, all the way to day 89, you were fine. But day
Hmm.
90, you heard this news that he did this and he was with multiple women. He doesn't even look like he can do that. I'm just
Nope. Come
saying. And
on.
he is honest about he said he cheated. Yes,
Hmm.
it was a mistake. I admit it.
Hmm.
With her is pulling teeth, saying, "Yes, I'm whorish." All those
Right.
things you hear about my being submissive and all this, and it's not true.
Mm-mm.
I'm whorish too,
Right.
and that's what I'm hearing, even though she's not saying it, but it's the behavior of how she's acting or
Hmm.
what she's hiding. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, in and of itself, for you to proudly state that a man who's claiming your kids, no, he's not the father. I know he's not the father. And in the same breath, she'll say, no, we were engaged. And so we were supposed to get married and da 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 da. And yet you were sleeping with someone bareback, right? And knew, therefore, that he's not the father, and then lied to him about it. Apparently, from your story, this is her new story,
Right.
her story,
Right.
right? That she's presenting herself with is that she was engaged to be married, right? She got pregnant by her fiance, quote unquote, right? But for real, well, that's what she told the fiance. But in real life, she knew she was sleeping with at least one other person bareback, and it's pretty positive that that guy is actually the father. But despite that, she kept lying to the fiance, and so that way he would marry her, and then she wouldn't have to be a single mother and a statistic and blah blah blah. Even though she knew there's a good chance at least one, possibly more men might be the father of the child. That's what she's saying. That's her ha. See, I told you so moment. That's what she's proudly saying. Like,
This
not that I'm proud. Not that
Go
I'm proud
ahead.
of our women, Shar. Not that I'm proud of our women necessarily for some of the things that they pull, but I'm just saying,
Hmm.
at least they don't come up here and do this, right? Like, at least they're coming up lying. No, no, he for sure he the daddy, right? And it's like, girl, you slept with like 50 other people. You don't even know this man's name. You know he might not be the dad, right? But they will tell you surely. They're trying to represent themselves as not being whores, right? Like they don't want their life story to be, you know, like Marisol on Worry. In fact, 25 times. That's like you still can't find the dad. We don't want to be. She's proudly saying, like, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna have to be back because he, the fiance, is not the father of my child. Like she's proud of that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I had to go to Facebook and see
Mm.
who the guy was when I slept with him around what time because I ain't seen him since. So I had to go back.
Right? Proud.
Because why, if you thought the other man is the father, Why wasn't he contacted? If you were with him, just something to throw out there. But let's continue.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Where's this other possible father?
I'm not even quite sure. After we broke up, he changed his number. He moved. He pretty much disappeared. I have tried to find him. I have tried to get a hold of him, and I can't find him.
But you keep saying Mr. Rasmussen cheated. He did this. He did that. And as wrong as that may be, you also slept with somebody else.
We weren't even dating then. I was
We weren't even dating then. Oh, I'm engaged. We weren't dating then. And
Mhm.
lady, come on. Just stop it.
Nope. This-
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
single
not
at
hot
that
enough.
time because he was with this other lady and I was the side chick, which I didn't even really know about.
All of this is happening, and this man is continuing to step up to the plate like he has a daughter on the way, like he has a newborn baby girl. Even through the breakup, you all are making custody and visitation arrangements, but you know deep down there's another possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why wait so long to tell him?
I told him the first time that we had a court date, but the courts threw it out.
Even
DNA
before you
test.
tell anybody in court. What about just telling him? I want to understand that. Why was it that you were keeping this information so close to your hip until 5-6 months after Zaylee was born?
The more she grew up, the more I started noticing more of her features, the more she started looking like the other guy.
She
That-
looks exactly like I did when I was 3 years old. I have a picture of me when I was 3 and a picture of her from just the other
Let
day.
me see that. Will you hand that to me, Jerome?
Believe it or not, when I was 3 years old, I had blonde hair.
And so this is a picture of Zaylee on the left and you as a child, Mr. Rasmussen, on the right.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you say you see a distinct similarity.
Yes, I do.
Do you see it, Ms. Miller?
Mm-mm,
You don't.
I don't.
You feel like Zaylee looks like the other gentleman you were
Yes.
intimate with.
Look, we even have the same chin. I'm just noticing that now. Our chin looks exactly the same. We have the same dimples.
You are insisting that Mr. Rasmussen is not the child's father, and yet you're receiving child support from Mr. Rasmussen. Have you petitioned the court to have Mr. Rasmussen taken off of child support?
I have told him a couple times that if he would just sign her over to me, that he wouldn't have to pay child support anymore.
I'm not
If
going to
he
do
would
that.
just-
I'm not going to give up that easy. I'm fighting for what I know is mine. I know she's mine.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, what type of visitation do you have right now?
Right now, it's every other weekend, but I've had to jump through so many hoops to get to this point. At first, it was that fly by night, just make a date whenever you want to, and go from there. But obviously, that didn't work. And then sometime after that, we started out where I had to sit with Miss Miller and my daughter at a park for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks. And then after that, I got her for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks by myself without her involvement. And then after that, I got her for one overnight a week for 4 weeks. And then after those 4 weeks, then I got what I have now.
How is your relationship with Zaylee?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Every time I get her, I try to make the best I can out of it. Even if I don't have any money from, having to put gas in the car and pay the child support and everything, we try to do as much as I try to do as much as I can with her, whether it be something as little as, going to the park or going fishing or going to, an amusement attraction. Every little memory at that age, means more than anybody can possibly fathom. And I just try to make the absolute best out of what I can with what I have.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, let me ask you, are you prepared? Have you prepared yourself either way? If this child is my biological child or if she isn't, have you thought about both alternatives?
In a sense, yes. If it goes the way I'm hoping and I know in my heart that it will, that she is mine, I'm just going to be overjoyed that all the drama and the fighting and all that kind of stuff is behind me. If it goes the other way, I don't think if I had all the time in the world, I could, prepare myself for such a bombshell. I don't think I'd be able to prepare myself for just how devastating that would be to not only me but my entire family.
Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
Okay.
In the
Before we do
case
the
of
results,
Miller
hold on.
versus
So I want to address something actually that came up in the chat, because I think a lot of people, right, a lot of our people at least, they don't have a lot of experience with, white folk, except, watching them on TV or, talking to them on social media. And now I do, because on one side of my family, everyone is biracial in my generation except for me, right?
Okay.
And so you got a lot of biracial kids being born, and then they have a lot of white cousins and stuff like that, right? So you start to learn some things. And just like how we say, right, like color don't tell you nothing. Because that baby, when a lot of our babies are born, they'll be one color, and then you look at their ears, and their ears are really dark. You're like, oh, that baby's going to darken up, right? Or like,
Yeah.
their nose looks one way, it looks like it might be petite and tiny like mommy's nose, and then by the time they're like 10, they got daddy's wider nose, or we know that our stuff is changeable. And to be honest with you, here's the thing: we become experts at being able to tell our own people apart, but it gets very hard for us to do that when we're trying to look at outside ethnicities that we're not exposed to all the time. So to a lot of us, right, like we can't tell Asian people apart as well, right? Or we can't tell white little kids apart as well. To me, like all white kids look the same. They really do. But like my white friends say the same thing. They do. A lot of white kids look exactly the same until they're in their teen years, right?
Okay.
But, right? So I find it difficult when I'm watching these shows and it's like a little white kid. I have a hard time being able to tell if someone's a father or not, because to me, all of their features look the same. Like they all look the same to me. They all the woman, the man, and the kid could all be related to me, right? I don't know, but they have the same kinds of stuff we have, where with the hair color changing. So Celine brought up hair color changes, or she was born with red hair and then it went blonde. My sister was born with dark hair, like dark brown hair, and like almost like kind of like brown eyes, but then her brown eyes became blue, and her eyes were blue for a good portion of her life. And then her hair started lightening up, and it was almost like ash blonde. So she was like ash blonde with blue eyes. And then by the time she was like 4, she had hazel eyes and like dirty blonde hair, right? Like, and her hair, she was born with bone straight hair. Then it started looking a little wavy curly. Now it's like type, I'll say it's like baby fine and very silky, like, like white girl hair, but it's very, very curly. Like I'll say type 3B, 3C, right?
Okay.
So these things, they get all those like weird changes just like we do. So trying to say, well, I have brown hair, he has brown hair, therefore she has blonde hair. No, y'all know that's not true, because a lot of them, like a lot of people I know when I went to grade school with them, and they had blonde hair in grade school. Some of them had like that white blonde hair, and then by the time they got to high school, they had brown hair, right? Or, I mean, redheads, honestly, that's a new one for me, because all the redheads I know were redheads. They've been redheads. But, I do know some guys that when they hit around 20, their beard started growing in red. It was brown before.
Oh.
But then it started growing in red. Yeah. I think that's an Irish descent thing. So, it's stupid. I guess I just wanted to bring up that point, because I actually heard someone say, and I can't remember where the channel was, but someone said, well, at least if you had a baby with a white girl, you'd know for sure if the baby was yours or not when it came out. That's not true. Their kids will be born looking one way and change another way, skin tone too. Be born looking tan and then turn out white as snow, or be born white as snow and then come out, brown skin. And you know what I mean? Like they got all of that mixed up too. So don't get it twisted over there. Don't think like, oh, well, at least it would be easier. No, it wouldn't. It would not at all. So we know that these women can be just as messy, lack submission, be totally proud of their whoredom, right? And no, at first glance, you wouldn't just be able to tell the baby's yours because it has a little chocolate in it. Because guess what? So if she likes you and you're chocolate, she probably likes lots of guys that are chocolate. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not
Okay, not just your chocolate bar.
Right. I'm just saying. I just wanted to point that out. It's a learning moment for those people who've not had a lot of exposure to white folk, because you may not know. Now you know.
Okay. Well, thank you for the 411.
Mm,
I've seen a few things, but not
mhm.
confirmed. Okay. You
Right,
got
right.
info firsthand from family. So, hey.
That exactly right. So I've literally seen it in my own sister, even um, where like even when she was little, she's like literally white as snow, and she didn't tan. Like she never got any darker. So I was sure she was going to be one of those white girls who doesn't tan and then burns.
Uh-huh.
But then when she got a little bit older, like we'll say like mid to late childhood, she started being able to brown in the sun. Right? Still
Hmm.
not like so now she browns to like being pale white instead of being white as snow, right? And if she doesn't go to the sun for 6 months, she's about white as snow. Point is, even those types of things can change. So, but before we go, Shar, what's
Uh-huh.
your guess? You've watched it, haven't you? So you can't even take a guess about if he's the father or not. That's all I want to say.
Oh,
Mm.
well.
I think he's a father. My guess is he's a father. That's what I think. I think he's a father. I think she's a whole. I think she's a hoe. I do. I
Mhm.
believe her on that front, but I think she's lying about this, and that's why the first time we heard about it was in child support court instead of at any time before that, right? Like,
Yeah, she's a bit wishy-washy on
yeah.
this, but I hate to see this happen. And this topic has always been touched, but it's been, it just been talked about the single mother, this mother, this mother. That's all you hear,
Hmm.
but you don't hear any solutions of what are you going to do? What did you try to do? You're hearing stuff. This man saying, "Hey, I'm fighting for my daughter. Fighting
Hmm.
for my daughter." That's all you hear. I drive. I fight for my daughter. I go see her. I don't have much. I want to see my daughter. But
Hmm.
you don't hear that um, when you hear just the talking about, but they just focus on the mother. Well, she won't let me see him. She won't let me see
Right.
her. The girls, they they need their father too. Well, the boys, they need their daddy too. And then that's the
Hmm.
end of the stream after 6 or 8 hours, and then come back again tomorrow and start all over again.
Hmm. Right? Like I said, is life fair? No, it's not. Right? But this man is actually exactly what I'm talking about when I say no, I don't care about you and your problems. I don't because you're making zero effort. Like you said, no, he got a raw deal at the beginning. He
Yeah.
had to show up and show out and go above and beyond for his and slowly over time, yeah, things got adjusted more in his favor. So now where he's getting overnights and stuff. He didn't start there.
Mhm.
Is
Right.
that is that fair? No, no one's saying it's fair. But what I am saying is that, hey, listen, you saying, well, then I'm just not trying and screw it. My kid doesn't need a father. When my kid is done needing a father in their 20s and 30s, then I'll reconnect with them and tell them why their mom's a bitch and why it's mom's fault you didn't have a dad growing up. What?
Yeah, come on to my YouTube page and put a one in the chat room if you think the single mother is wrong and she do this or she do that. Yeah, man, that's right. She do this and she do that. Yeah,
Right?
I'm a live stream tomorrow. Come back. That's
Mm,
it.
yep.
No fighting. I went to court. I tried this and this happened and that didn't happen. I looked into this. Oh, what did you hear about that? No, I didn't hear about that. And you never hear any any stories or not many. It's like
Hmm.
one person tell a story. If you do have a guy to tell a story, it's just one. The other hundreds of people ain't saying nothing in the chat room or whoever's in there. You don't
Hmm.
hear it. And it's so sad, but yeah.
Yep. Mm.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Rasmussen. When it comes to 3-year-old Zaylee Rasmussen, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. Miss Miller.
Be
I'm
respectful.
sorry.
Miss Miller.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you or your child.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of nerve. You just showed me where your priorities were right there.
I'm sorry.
Because I held out hope that you weren't just acting a fool because you so mad at him because he cheated on you that you would cheat your child out of a father. But that cheering you did, what you cheering? I'm a single mother with nobody that loves me or my child. What you cheering for?
I'm not.
No, you were. He is over here breaking down because he loves this child so much. I sit here day after day after day with women hoping a man would drive 16 miles to see their baby, much less 160 miles each way.
Facts.
And abide by a court order and sign a birth certificate and come day after day and week after week so they can grow visitation to have a relationship with a child. And you have no compassion for not just him, but for Zaylee. She's 3 years old. Now, he's not just going to be heartbroken. We got to break this news to her. And y'all over here cheering like it's a sport. This is this baby's life. And I asked you, where's this other man? I don't know. And you know he don't want nothing to do with you. Sitting up there cheering. Mr. Rasmussen, I am so sorry. I know this hurts you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't know what I'm going to do. She's my whole world. Everything I do is for her. She was the reason I went to work every day.
I know you have a bond with her.
I feel like my whole world is in ruins now.
Oh. Miss Miller, I'm going to say this to you before I adjourn court. Your child deserves to know who her father is. Whether or not that man wants to be in her life, physically present and participate. He does have a legal obligation to help support her financially. It's important that you make this right. She'll one day ask, where's my father? Every action you take from this point will write the story that you will later have to tell her. I wish you the best of luck. We have counseling for you. Court is adjourned.
Yeah, you're going to need some counseling.
Wow.
Going to need some counseling. Now, this guy is attached to this little girl. Been there since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think of all the things that go on when it comes down to support and all of that. This man, he does have a decision to make, and it's his to make. That little girl, I don't think she's going to find that father. I don't think she'll ever know who her father is because the chick was looking for him and couldn't. He done hit it, quit it, he done smoked and drank or whatever he was doing, hit it, and it's over with. The party's over. See ya, wouldn't want to be you.
Mm-hmm. She probably has privately tested a lot because you can get those kits that you just do at home and then mail in. She's probably tested a lot of dudes. There's a problem. She doesn't know because she's a hoe. Like we both called that from early. She's a hoe, and she knows she was a hoe and she cheated throughout that whole relationship. And then probably treated this man like trash too, and da 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 da. And then towards the end of the relationship, he went and found himself someone who is not her. Fine. I'm not saying that that's nice. I'm just saying, how dare you be mad about it when you cheated to the point that you were barebacking other people and got pregnant by one of them and then had him engaged to you. You were going to marry, you're going to perpetrate out this fraud forever. That was her goal in life, is to perpetrate this fraud forever. And then you know what? One day, God forbid, something with the kid happens and requires blood, requires this and that, whatever. That's when a lot of people find out that a parent isn't theirs or a kid's not theirs, and it's just like, Char, my jaw hit the ground when she said not the father. But what was more important was her response.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my daughter doesn't have a dad. Yeah, my daughter's going to be on the pole before she's 18 because she doesn't have a father. Yeah, my daughter's going to be a whore just like me because she has no father. Yeah.
And she doesn't appear to be too bright. So I can't imagine that she has a income that will support her and her daughter. That's the other thing. The grandparents, I don't know where they are. They were not mentioned. So, does she have help? How much help does she have? And it's
Mm-hmm.
still not going to take place of this child.
Mm-mm.
It's not. Now, think about if he decides to say, I'm walking away. Just think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Because I don't even think that their relationship is still ongoing. I don't think
Mm-mm.
so.
No.
So, he can decide, I'm not driving there anymore. Oh, well. And he
Mm-hmm.
may say, well, you know what I'll do? I'll give her the support because I want her to have something. One day I'm going to have my own child. And he can
Mm-hmm.
move on. Who knows? And I bet you if he decide to say, hey, now that we have the paternity information, I don't want to pay anymore, and that particular state allow it, by
Mm-hmm.
some chance, she'll have a fit.
Mm-hmm.
She will have a fit.
Of course. Of course. Right? Like her she's treating her kid like her kid is a pawn, but her kid is 3. By the time you're 3, do you know how much little girls love their daddies by the time they're 3 years old?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the way this woman went about it, like, here's the thing. I know men get mad at this, right? When you hear people say, there's a difference between being a father and a daddy and da da da, and you can still be man enough to stick around. And I know men get mad when they hear that, but the fact of the matter is, it's true, right? That emotional bonded connection you make with the kid, right? Like, no one can really take that away from y'all but y'all, right? So the thing is, and that's what makes you a daddy. You can be someone's father, live in the same house, and have no bond with your kids, right? Like, this man was a daddy in every sense of the word, and now he's not the biological father. That much is true. But I mean, like you said, this little girl was his whole world. But for little girls, their daddy's their whole world. For
Yes.
daddy to just disappear, like, that's not something you bounce back from as a little girl. It's not, right? This is why we have literally daddy's issues, right? It's,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things that we see, what are daddy issues. So,
Yeah.
and for this woman, I'm imagining the life that this little girl's gonna live. And I see it already because her mother is the type of person who doesn't mind demolishing her life and demolishing and just ruining her just to be spiteful to someone else. Like, she doesn't care that her daughter gets caught in the crossfire. She doesn't care how it hurts her daughter, affects her daughter, or whatever. Her daughter's just like a toy. It's like it might as well be a puppy in the house, right? It's not like a person
Mm.
that she loves and has taken responsibility to raise and sacrifice for. No, that's not how this woman is at all. And man, I wish there was some type of charge, like uh, some type of charge that says
Mm-hmm.
you intentionally perpetuated fraud. It's very clear in this case that that's exactly what happened.
Right.
And now you should owe that man back his money. And there should be some type of damages she has to pay. Now, not necessarily to the court. In this case, I would say with damages, like, she should be required to pay for counseling and support and this mentorship programs and this and that and whatever. Like, the court should be following to make sure that she does these things for her daughter, because she did this intentionally to her daughter's life, and her daughter doesn't deserve to turn out like her because she's decided to be a spiteful, petty, evil, vengeful person. Like,
Hmm. I tell you, if CPS get involved, she gonna wish she had not done anything because they all up in your business, every little thing.
mhm,
You late for something, they come in and checking out things and have it. You see where they have no um regards when it comes down to taking your child. Well, we're gonna take the child for processing. You'll hear from us in 3 days, and
yeah,
you'll hear from us by 72 hours. So don't worry, we'll take care of her.
mhm,
You don't know where that child is going. You can't follow them. You can't go wherever that child go. Mm-mm. That is too
mhm,
much. That is
right?
just too much. And she doesn't care. That's the other thing. She
Nope.
doesn't care. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, I get you don't care, but do you love the child?
Mm-mm.
I mean, come on. And then the nut, I don't know who that was. I apologize for calling the woman a nut. It just was nutty behavior, but the person that was with her, they were happy too. How
Hmm.
will you be happy? You're not a man that's dating her.
Right.
But it could be, that type of relationship. But even if it is, why are you happy about it? What do you have to do with that
Right.
relationship? So that's just that whole thing is strange, and just not counseling. They need to look into that with that woman, because how would we know that that child is safe? Because she
Hmm.
said that he mentioned diapers. She said she's not in diapers. She's in pull-ups. She's having some problems. Well, we do know
Hmm.
children, will urinate on themselves if they are having problems, and it's just not uh,
Hmm.
just struggling to potty train. It could be from trauma and different things. So
Hmm.
I think they
Yep.
need to look a little bit into that with her, because
Hmm.
she opened herself. She came to that courtroom. I say you open yourself up to investigation, and they have a reason to investigate.
Yep. Yep. And they should. I mean, the system isn't great at this point, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you don't wish any kid into the system. But when you see a story like this, and this is cheering, man. The cheering is the thing that told me everything I need to know,
Yeah.
right? Like I've seen women come on here before and they've been saying, no, he's not the father. I've been telling him this, right? And then they might go, see, I told you when the results come back or whatever, right? But
Hmm.
those are often one night stand type situations, blah, blah, blah. And they said from jump, you're not the father. They told this guy, yeah, I know I slept with you, but it wasn't around the time I got pregnant. You're not the father. They've been telling this man this. They already have a man in the child's life that is the father and blah, blah, blah. Now they got to prove it, right?
Uh-huh.
This woman told that man he's dead.
Yeah.
And then they were engaged. He was working. He was like, it's not, she didn't have a reason. She doesn't have a good reason. Like, he did something to her, like cheating. I'm sorry, no. Like, if he beats you, it's a good reason. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have a reason. She's just spiteful and angry that this man, her little trick, right, didn't work.
Trick.
Yeah, that's what it was. She wanted to trick this man into marrying her, right? And giving her a husband and her kid a father when she knew the whole time she was perpetrating a fraud. And you know what? She's not wife material. She's not even girlfriend material. She's definitely not mother material. And no one's going to willingly want to stay in that scenario. Like, no one's going to willingly sign up for that, right? Like, no. You're a petty, vengeful, spiteful person. You can tell she's one of those people. She's not getting her own way, she will burn everything down. Even if it burns her stuff down with it, she don't care. As long as it hurts you.
Yeah. And that's sad, people like that. And there are people that's like that. They don't care. It is clearly all about them, what they
Mm-hmm.
want, and forget the rest. That is so
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Right? Oh, she's just gross. And then she complaining about how what like if no one caught this again, the discrepancy between her complaining about how little child support she gets,
Yeah.
but she's also here to say he's not the father. So then no, you should be saying he's overpaying me in child support because he owes you nothing, right? Because it's not his kid. So how dare you complain about how much child support you're getting when you're there to say he's not the father? Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm
Right.
like
You
you.
didn't have to accept it. Even if the court gave it to you, you can give it back to him. You don't have
Mhm.
to take it. You don't.
Exactly.
And
Nope.
then what was I was going to mention with the child support? I lost my train. Oh, well, I knew I was thinking about the future. Um I knew tonight would be a shorter stream, so I had one thing to show, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll close out. It is about child support.
Mm.
Now, do you remember we had a stream where we had a couple of guys that joined in? We had Charles Faulkner Jr. and
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Z came on, and Charles was saying that men have, the child support, they don't have much left once they pay. And I asked, well, how much do they pay? And he said it depends. So, he
Mhm.
didn't have a number.
Mhm.
And I found a story. I said I'll just do it tonight instead of using it for article reactions because it has to do with child support. And
Okay.
we have a particular number when it comes down to that child support. So I'm like, well, let's pull that up and see what happens here. Now, they don't like on my channel the word, the offing yourself. They don't like that S word.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to tell you now, they don't like that. So we can come up with some ideas of how to say something different. I just
Yeah.
say rid yourself or something like that, or the
Mhm.
elimination of your being.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. It's in the list of banned words.
Yeah. They're
Mhm.
gonna end up banning me on off here. And I'm like, oh, bye.
Mhm.
But this particular father, um, well, you can come to your own conclusion, but the mother is going to say what it is. But well, let's see.
A grieving mother says it was her 2-year-old daughter's father
It's
who
low,
killed
but
that little girl last night at a home in Wyoming. Police say the gunman shot little Khalees Brewer, then turned the gun on himself, though he survived.
News 8's Ken Kolker sat down with the girl's mom this afternoon. Ken?
Brian and Sue, Khalees Brewer's mom says she couldn't get herself to answer the phone when police called her yesterday. She handed it to her mom.
As soon as I heard them on the phone, I knew, like I just was running and screaming.
She had dropped off her 2-year-old daughter on Monday for a visit at the home of the girl's father and says she was planning to pick her up Wednesday evening, the night of the shooting.
Trying to get a hold of them, and I'm not getting the answer. And so I'm like, I have to go pick her up. I was gonna go at 7. I got the call at 6:15.
Police say the gunman shot and killed Khalees in an upstairs apartment on Meyer Avenue in Wyoming, then turned the gun on himself. He survived. A woman who lives in the downstairs apartment says she was in bed when she heard the gunfire.
Came through my ceiling.
What came through the ceiling?
The bullet. Yeah.
The bullet came through your ceiling?
While I was watching a movie. Yeah.
Missed her by a foot, she says. Khalees's mom says the baby's father is the shooter.
I cannot imagine. Like I can't. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Like, yeah, I can't believe it.
Court records show it took a paternity test to prove the suspect was Khalees's father. In December, the court ordered him to pay $167 a month for child support.
He was mad about child support, but I'm just telling him, like, child support don't matter.
But not mad enough, she says, to raise any suspicions.
That's why I allowed her to go there, because I never in a million years really expected him to hurt our child.
He is on parole after his release from prison for armed robbery. Khalees's mom spoke today as she fed her 2-week-old daughter.
She looks like Khalees when Khalees was younger.
She had only recently started teaching Khalees about her inner beauty, even installed a mirror just for her.
I just was trying to install in her, Khalees is beautiful, Khalees is beautiful. Yeah. So anytime she looked in that mirror, she's smiling.
Anybody who met her,
Yeah.
her light was so bright, almost too bright for this world, I feel like. Like the world wasn't ready for her.
Police are calling this a murder-attempted suicide. The suspect who survived is expected to be arraigned tomorrow. Tonight, the family is mourning their loss at a vigil in front of the home where it happened.
We had child
The
support.
family expects to
He didn't
And
want,
like, child support don't matter.
but not mad
you know,
enough.
he had a couple of issues with that. But I'm trying to stop it. But you know how this darn thing is, it stops when it wants to. So I'm going to leave it be. How did I get out this darn thing? Let me out. Let me out of here. Okay. So the young lady was letting her daughter go see the father.
Mhm.
You know, that's what, you hear that doesn't happen and that happened.
Mhm.
There was no money exchange at the time, and then there was a support order put in. there was some concern about it, but the mother's like, what can you do? You ain't got it right now. Don't worry about it. Now, I know there is an issue when it comes down to being behind. I do understand that. So I don't know if he know that about the system. I don't know. I can't say all of that. But what I can say is the mother allowed the child to go see the dad.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that doesn't happen. Did I pin the darn thing? Wait a minute, delete it. I was trying to erase this darn thing. You know how you got this these little bots.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do that and the message came up. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what can I do? Okay, hide you. Okay, I think we good. So that happened. So now what? I mean, you can't say that in this instant. Um, so why? Which will you ever know? Probably not. He is alive. He did make it.
Mm-hmm.
But will he answer honestly about why he did what he did? Because I would say removing the child from the world is not going to help anything. Why did you think that was a solution? Fine if you want to go, but why the child?
Right. Uh, you know what? And I mean, I don't know. She might be, fronting or having a little historical revisionist syndrome, but
Mhm.
it sounded to me like the majority of women who go on, or end up with men on child support, they didn't try to get the man on child support as much as they tried to get social welfare. And in order to get the benefits, you have to let them know who the father is, and then the
Right.
system goes after the father. It's not necessarily her. So her attitude seemed to be to me that she wasn't going to push the issue. So until he got like 10,000, I think it's over $10,000 um, for the system to flag. Like, because if you just don't pay your child support, but the mother doesn't say anything,
Uh-huh.
it'll just keep accumulating. You go on about your
Okay.
business,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't know the outcome of that because no one has ever explained that. It just
Mm-hmm.
goes back to the mother this, the mother that. I'm telling you, and I pay attention. I listen. I used to mod or I would mod. I don't say anything. I'm just listening and doing what I was doing. And I never can say that I heard that. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's just interesting that I have to get it from you. But go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, which is what they don't like. I don't know. I guess some people don't realize because again, they're focusing on the horror stories, right? Because the horror
Okay.
stories are people who, and honestly, some people are creating their own horror because they don't show up for court. They knew court was there.
Mhm.
They just didn't show up because they thought maybe if they just avoid the whole thing, it'll go away, which is not how it works. In that case, since you're not there to prove facts and evidence, like what your income is and whatever, they will just issue whatever payment, 5, 6, 7, 8, $1,000, whatever. I don't know. Just assume, right? Because you're not there. And they'll give you like 2, 3 times before they do that. But so if you have a payment of $700 a month, it's not gonna take you that long to get over $10,000. Right? If you lost your job for a year, you're gonna be over $10,000. But this man is paying $167 a month. Man, these are 5 years. If he didn't pay child support for 5 years, he wouldn't be flagged by the system yet. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but I don't know, let's say she really was actually pushing it. You better pay that child support. The question is this:
Mhm.
did he really shoot this kid over child support, or was it something else? Because
Right.
it seemed to me like if the problem is child support, well then you would eliminate the mother, right? Because she's the one who's going to get the child support. Oh yeah, like you know what I mean? I don't know.
Hey, I don't know. That's why I said, hey, I don't know if he'll be honest and give you the answer, but okay. Yeah.
Right? It's weird. I think he has anger management issues. I think
Mhm.
that I mean, look, listen, we know he's a street dude. We know he's into criminal stuff.
Yes.
Okay. We know that the young criminals of today are actually incredibly violent. And they respond with violence and weapons quickly and easily. And maybe that kid would do it himself, or she wouldn't start crying. You know what I mean? Da 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 da. She wouldn't listen, and he lost his cool for a second and reacted the way he would react to a grown man on the street. And in that moment, he realized what he had done, and then shot himself. That's what I think happened. Because he's like, no, I'm not going to prison for that. I didn't mean to do this. Maybe he was overwhelmed with guilt. Maybe it was just fear. Maybe it was, I don't want to go to prison for life. I don't know. Right. But it seems like $167 a month is not enough to take the life of your own child.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like your child. It's not a lot of money. It's like,
yeah, it's not at all. So I'll only mention that because that's what was mentioned and that it happened recently. But even if that's the case, I'm with you. It's not a lot of money. You don't have to pay it if he knows that $10,000 thing there, if he knows that. But what is going on with the anger and the violence when it comes down to their own child? I know it's been happening for a while as far as with relationships. They get angry, they may hit the woman, they have some type of fight, and there's some type of item involved, knife or something. But now, well, not to say now, but you are hearing more of the children being eliminated. And then more of them, I'll say 50-50 would run, and other 50-50 eliminate for themselves. So what's going on? What is really going on? It's sad.
I mean, that kid is old. She has another kid. I'm guessing with someone else. I mean, maybe that was a breaking point for him. Maybe it was the reality that he's really not going to get her back. Because I mean, that's what I feel like you hear a lot of, especially in these young ones that do this. What I feel like you hear a lot of is they do it to punish the other one, right? So, well, if I can't have you, no one can, or you know what? Well, if you won't be with me, then I'm ruining your life, basically, right? It seems I hear that reasoning a lot with these younger ones. So,
wow,
it seems to me as though it would have more to do with the fact that she was not with him, and she in fact had a baby with someone else, and maybe I don't know, maybe that relationship stepped up. Something. It's something because I'm like yes, we know it just happened. Details are gotta unfold and whatever, but like
how long you want the woman to wait?
Right.
It's not, right. You're gone, and you're gone. And a lot of times they'll get a sentence that's long or longer than what a healthy, young, vibrant woman is going to wait for, and they're not married to you or anything. They move on. So,
right.
and then you get out sooner than your your sentence. And now you're home. Hello, ta-da. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for calling. You want to see your child? Because I'm in a relationship. Oh, it's like that? What do you mean? It's like that you were gonna be gone for 7 years, and yeah, you did 3. They let you out early, but
Right.
come on.
Right, exactly. And again, we know that a woman's brain goes through a lot of changes in that 9 months she's pregnant. So, for all that men, I hear a lot of men in these streets, they criticize these women for the choices that they make. But here's the thing, yeah, her priorities. She looks young.
Yeah.
Well, maybe still a teenager. She looks young. Um, and her priorities before and after giving birth are different. Not because of some other kind of nonsense, but because her brain has literally changed. Literally, it has totally rewired itself in 9 months. So now she sees the world differently. Her priorities are different. What she values in a man is different because a
Hmm.
baby just came out of her in essence, right? So
Right.
um, before that, maybe it's just the fast life with, the immediate money, the street social clout and whatever. That was what she was looking for, you know. But now she had the baby. She wanted some stability. She wanted family life. She wanted respect. She was starting to think about, well, how is he treating me? And do I want my daughter to see this as normal?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
the stuff
that
like
could be
that.
it too. You're right.
Hmm.
And then think about how um, this is funny. You're single mother and nobody wants you and all that kind of stuff. Well, somebody wanted her, and that's for certain because she's, you know, conceived with somebody, it wasn't alien. So, but yeah, the woman moved on. That's just the bottom line. And you think
Hmm.
that's fair? So that's the next question. You really think it's fair? You're doing some time, you're not married, you live with your mother, I live with mine, and you go off and do some time, and I'm supposed to be just sitting here waiting for you, and I'll be 30 when you get out.
Hmm.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
That's
But
not
like for
even
them,
logical to even ask when all you gave me
mm-mm.
was $50 every now and again once you got it.
But it's weird. It's like when they go away, right? They go to camp. Um, Life stops for them, and like so because I have friends, and I know people who are locked up for life. Life here is like 25 years, so
Oh,
whatever. But still, um, and they'll call, and
hmm.
they talk to you like everything their life, like the snapshot they had of their life the moment before they went to jail, right? They think everything's still like that. So they'll ask you about people you haven't spoken to in 10 years. Oh, how's Scotty doing? Scotty? Yeah, I haven't seen Scotty in forever. I don't know. I guess he's fine, probably. Yo, I got married, remember? I live my own life, right? But like for them, everything's on pause. So they actually literally, in a way, they almost expect, even though they know you've moved on, they know the world kept spinning, they know nothing's waiting for them, they still feel like it is. Because for them, everything stopped. The world stopped spinning that day, right? And then it's like almost everything got put on pause, and now they had to go learn a whole new world, a whole new society, and whatever. And then when they get out, they expect to be walking back into that day before they went to prison. That's what they really do expect. I've noticed that. I don't know what it is. That's why a lot of them have a really hard time adjusting to life on the outside because the world moved on without them and they're not prepared for it in a way, right? Like, other than the job issues and whatever, like, just from a social aspect, right? They're used to being able to go to the corner, their friends are there, da 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 da. Now they go to the corner, it's a bunch of kids. You're looking at them, and they're kids to you. And none of your boys are there. And then the few of your boys that are still alive and not in prison, man, they got wives, they got kids, and you can't roll over to their house wearing that stuff and want to drink 40s. And, so like everything changed and they weren't expecting everything to change. They really don't. It's an interesting phenomenon. Like I'm really wondering if they've done more study on it, to figure out why that is. Because like if you were in a coma and you woke up and it's 10 years later, that's almost like what it is. It's like they went into a coma for 10 years, even though they've been awake. It's weird.
Child, I have been on vacation. I've been gone 2 or 3 weeks, and I get off the plane, get near the neighborhood, and see there's a difference whether the leaves are now on the trees, the snow is melted, or there's leaves on the ground, or something. I
Something.
noticed there's something different. I come in my house, it's, I got to look around because it's so different to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, how the heck you gone for years? And I mean, I don't get it, but okay, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's experience. Okay.
Right. You know what? I don't get it either, right? But I kind of, in a way, I do because I feel like this social isolation, right? With
Okay.
Rona, um, I feel like I was more in tune with the world keeps on spinning and the kids keep getting older and and everyone and everything's changing. I was more in tune with that when I saw people on the regular, when I hugged the kids and saw, oh my God, he grew like 2 inches in a month, right? Like, I, it's just those little things that you're literally physically in contact with. And then
Yeah.
you're looking at those things as you look at yourself and your own evolution, because you're evolving too, you're changing in the real world too, right? And
Right.
then versus now, it's like, okay, well, I left my house. I'm not even kidding. I left my house on my own for the first time in almost 3 years. I've not left, and I've only left my house maybe 3, 4 times. This was the first time I left my house by myself for like 3 years. And I was like, oh my God, like literally everything, it felt like the whole planet had shifted suddenly. And suddenly I was very confused. Like
Mm.
everything closes at different times, the rules are different. I forgot that those giant, really tall poles that are on the carts in the Dollarama are to prevent it from going outside. Like all kinds of stuff. I just like everything just shifted. And I was like almost not comfortable in a way because it was just like everything's new and different. It's not that different, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's like the world moved on without me. In the 3 years I haven't left my house, in a way, I imagine that outside of those windows, it's everything's exactly the same as it was 3 years ago, right? I imagine you drive down the street, everything is the same as it was 3 years ago. So when I go to a mall, I'm used to seeing and like, oh no, all the stores are different. What the hell? No. In my head, that mall's exactly the same as it always was, right? You have to go back to the mall to know what changed. Um, so I think that it's like something like that. It's just like you just haven't seen it. You haven't done it in so long. And you keep thinking about it. You have fond memories of it. And so in your head, it's almost preserved that way, right? It's like, no, everything's waiting for me. Don't worry. When I get out, all the kids are still 7, right? Yeah, sure, it's been 5, 10 years, but they're still 7. It's fine.
Okay.
Yep,
All
yep.
right.
In their heart, they're 7. I got this. It's like,
Yeah, that's crazy. But okay.
I'm like, either way, I mean, I do gotta say though, when they said, "Oh, yeah, he just got out of prison and da da da," and I'm like, "Girl, what were you thinking, though?" Right? I do gotta make that call out. That hey, listen,
Hmm.
ladies, a couple questions never hurts anybody, and in movies and TV shows, he went to prison is super cool. In reality, though, that's not like the ideal person you want to be looking for. Is the guy who went to prison for some type of violent crimes. That's
I
not
agree.
normally right. That's not normally the guy who could lead with a a firm but kind hand. It's not.
And my advice is to, get some type of background. If you're insulted by that, then you just insult it.
Mhm,
And a guy has to know all the things that's going on. You can't tell me you're blind to the news and all the things that's happening. And yeah, this may seem innocent. I mean, it'll seem a bit much because of a date and all of
mhm,
that. But hey, I need to know who you are. You say you're John. I got to make sure your first name lines up. And if you have
mhm,
any domestic, I don't know if like throwing women around or doing other things. And I just
mhm.
want to know that. If you got a clean jacket, we cool, you
Right.
know? So it's a bit much, but hey, you have to protect yourself.
God, and I hope that she makes better choices now. She has another baby to think
Hmm.
of and to protect. And man, I
Yeah.
just can't even. And listen, can we talk about the basement woman for a second? The one
Sure.
who
Go
just
ahead.
happens to live underneath this dude, and a bullet comes through your ceiling and misses you by a foot. What are you? What? Can you imagine? You're just sitting right now, Shar, and a bullet just comes through your ceiling and like hits the ground like a foot away from you. Ugh.
It's
Hell?
that's crazy. You're like, what in the? Because that's something that you would think would be outside or in a particular area, not in your home. Hello.
Right. Exactly. And it's like I don't even know how I would feel about that because when you think about it, I don't know. In one way, I feel like my home is supposed to protect me from things like bullets. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like if it comes through the window, it comes through the window. But like the walls, I feel like it's supposed to be sturdy. Never mind
Right.
my floors and ceilings. I just feel like a bullet shouldn't be able to be coming through it. I don't know. Call me crazy,
Okay. What
but
kind of weapon was that?
right? What the hell did he shoot with exactly? What kind of cock killing bullets was he using? Let's be real. Like that's some craziness that it came through and could have shot and killed her too. Went through a
Yeah.
person, went through a baby, and the floor and the subfloor and the da 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 and da 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 and then the insulation and then the ceiling to then come and almost hit her and burrow into her floor. What in the hell?
Yeah.
I,
Now
I,
they can charge him for that because we know
mhm,
we've seen that with was it young lady Breonna Taylor?
mhm,
Um, the
mhm.
bullet went to the neighbor, so he can be charged for that if nothing else. So let's hope that they do the right thing and bring up the right charges and not let him skate this time and let him next time
Right.
say 20 years, let it be 20. Unless it's
Mm,
18 days and 355 days. Yeah, that's it. Give him one day off.
mm. I'm convinced, right? Like we've covered stories like this before with someone who's just violent and terrible towards black people, of course. And they just keep letting him out. I'm like, so you want this person to come out and terrorize and hopefully kill more of us. Like that's what it feels like. Because you take all the innocent, non-violent people and lock them up for 50 to 200 years. And then you got, violent, dangerous, predatory types, and you let them out in 5 years or less. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. That, that doesn't make any sense. People were getting 140-year prison terms for marijuana possession at the same time that violent pedophiles were only getting 5 years.
Yeah, isn't that
So,
something?
right? Let's work out the problems with sentencing, because
Please. Please.
right, right. Like I'm not even going with the because you punish us differently and harder than you do other races. I'm just saying within our race. Okay, there are violent, predatory people, just like there are in every other race. Okay, and you tend to, in other races, you tend to like work the opposite, right? The most violent and predatory, they tend to keep in prison,
Right.
right? And they give the good ones slap on the wrist, let them keep running. Why is it kind of working the opposite for our community? No, no, no. I want men like him locked up. It, I
Okay.
do. You shot a baby. There's
If the
no.
sentence is 20 years, give them 20 years. Let it all be no good behavior and all that kind of stuff. You good behavior if you survive those 20 years. There you go.
I don't think it should be 20 years. I think it should be like you murdered a baby. I already feel like murder, and it depends on like if it's like I don't know, someone shooting at you, you're shooting at them, everyone's shooting at everyone, and then you killed someone. Okay, you want to say 20 years, cool. But like in this case where you shot an innocent child, or like someone who's just like a victim, you shoot them, you were
Yeah.
willing to take the life in cold blood like that. No, I think that should be life. And then I don't care what you have to tack on to that, whatever. I feel like that should be like a life sentence. Like you have proven you have a general if you can shoot your own child,
Right.
nobody else on the planet is safe. Nobody.
That's
I'm
true.
sorry.
But they don't
No.
never give life, so that's why I say 20.
Girl, have you not heard there's some dude who was sentenced to 240 years in prison? like just recently, then they're trying to
Yeah,
get
they don't do that that often though when it comes down to the bad stuff. So I'm like,
But
let's start with 20.
all right. Fine. We'll start with 20. Okay, we'll start with 20. Got you.
Okay, I think I can make that stick. Hey, I'm thinking that like the, what is it? The prosecutor? Yeah, I just want something to stick. That's what
True. All right, fine then.
I
All
want. All right, you good people. We had less participation, but we do thank you for tuning in tonight. We are going to have a show tomorrow. I know you guys got football on your mind, but tune on in and check out these Karens we got for you because we got them. We got them Karens at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Article action. Come on down. You can do it. Come
You
on
know
down.
it.
All right. And if you do miss us because you're having them parties and stuff, do check the replay. We do have those up. And I guess until then, I want you guys to be safe. Enjoy if I don't see you. Enjoy Valentine's Day if you celebrate. Enjoy your birthdays, guys. And until then, peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Hey, folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for Article Reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.